Hello there, and welcome to what is possibly my last Tower of Fantasy recording for a while. There was a comment left on my previous video that basically said, oh, they're rebooting TOF, aren't they? And it turns out that that's sort of, kind of, the plan. I did a little bit of digging into it. What they're essentially doing is they're going to open a new server, and that server is going to scale back a lot of the more numbers side of things that the game has going on at the moment. It's also going to remove some of the more convoluted content. It's going to remove some of the bits of the game that the devs just didn't really think worked properly, or didn't really like, people didn't like. Their idea seems to be that they're going to have a bit more of a focus on exploration. They're going to have a little bit more of a focus on making sure that you can play whatever weapon you want by balancing out team comps and things like that. They're removing elemental resonance, so you can use whatever elements you want in combination, which is really nice. They're keeping in the MMO sort of class system, as it were. So, like, if you have two healing weapons, you'll essentially become like a support. Or if you have two tank weapons, you'll become a tank, so on and so forth. That's going to stay. But the elemental resonance seems to be going. They're going to rebalance all of the weapons' stats and things like that to make it so that everything is a bit more in line with what everything else is. So there aren't any super power crept OP weapons, hopefully. And they're also going to be doing the same thing for the enemies and the enemies in the game and the different encounters in the game to try and make it feel more smooth actually progressing through. This is what I've taken away from what has been delivered through a blog post, and it's delivered in quite sort of broken English, so it's kind of a bit up for interpretation a little with what they're actually going to be doing. But yeah, that's kind of what it seems. They have even put as one of their buzzwords, I can't remember if it was Genshin or MiHoYo, but they put that as one of their buzzwords, which means they're obviously looking to Genshin Impact for some ideas on how they're going to implement certain things. But I think the idea is they wanted to basically make it so that the game is just a bit more approachable for people. The game is a little bit more easygoing on people and stuff like that. And this is all on paper a really, really great thing. But there are some hidden downsides to it. There are some big hidden downsides to it. They're not even that hidden. So the first and biggest question that's going to be on so many people's minds instantaneously, and we don't have an answer to this yet, by the way, is what's going to happen to the players that have been playing on this server the whole time? Are they just going to have to start again? Do we lose all of our stuff if we want to migrate over to the new server? Will there be an option to migrate over to the new server, or are we going to just have to start from scratch? Because if we're going to have to start from scratch, all these changes are pointless, because who wants to play through the game with none of their hard-earned rewards? Like, I mean, I've spent ages playing the game at this point, and if I had to start again with none of the weapons and things like that, I mean, I'm never going to put any money into the game again, that's for certain, if that's the case. And yeah, it raises a lot of questions. Unless they can figure out a way to either properly compensate players when they migrate over, or like just find a way for the players to bring stuff with them when they migrate over. I don't really see how this is gonna function outside of them just drawing in an entirely new audience. Which I don't think is going to happen, because Tower of Fantasy already kind of has its niche. And, you know, it might grow a little bit with this new server that is going to have new features and things on it. They also made it clear that they're still going to be running the regular servers, like the ones that are up at the moment, which leads me to believe we're probably not going to get server migration. They've said in the past that server migration is something that's very, very difficult for them to do. So, like, I'm not really too sure how they're going to approach this, and they're going to need to be very careful with how they do this. Because once the new TOF server launches, I mean, I'm not going to want to play on the old one anymore. That's for certain. but I'm also not going to want to start completely from scratch. So, like, yeah, it's created a problem, and it's created a further problem with me specifically because I don't really want to keep playing the game right now without knowing whether or not anything I'm doing is going to carry over. Because there's no point in me wasting time going through and doing the new events and getting my dailies done and getting my daily login and things like that. There's no point in that if none of it carries over to my new account or my new, my new server character. Because there's no way I'm starting this again. There's no way. Like, and this is as a console player. I can't even imagine how PC players must feel about this because the game's been out for a lot longer on PC than it has on consoles. And if I had put as much time into an account as a lot of PC players obviously have, I would be absolutely furious if they don't allow you to migrate over, because that's mad. It's going to be a monumental task for them because I'm from what I'm gathering from the way they've worded it is they're going to drip feed a lot of the content into the game. So when it first launches, you're going to be just in Asperia again, and then Vera will slowly get patched in, and then you'll eventually get to go to Domain 9 and stuff like that. But they're going to sort of try and I believe just fine tune every aspect of the game from beginning to present. And that could mean weapons as well. I don't know for certain. Maybe all the weapons will be available from the get-go. I'm not sure. But I don't see that being the case. I doubt they'll be able to do all of that unless they give themselves a long time of development. Because that's a lot of stuff to balance in such a period of time. I mean, I don't know when they're planning to launch this thing. We're still waiting for news on that. And yeah, that is the other thing. Like, how long is this going to be? Like, is it going to launch like in a few months' time, or is it going to launch in like a year's time? Because if it's like a year's time, I mean, I'm going to be done with the game by then. There is no purpose to me even waiting on that. I think when it launches, I will give it a go regardless. But like, I'm definitely not going to be putting any more money into it at that point, especially if I don't get to keep what I've already got. So I've already put money into the game. And it seems a little bit almost unfair that I would have to start from scratch just to see a bunch of changes that should have been in the game from the get-go, really. I've seen a lot of people saying that they think that the game is going to turn into just another Genshin. It's going to be quite a lonely solo experience. I don't think this is their intention at all, from what I've read. Like, the way they word it seems that they are still going to be focusing on calling this an MMO, and it is still going to go forwards as an MMO. They're still keeping like the Holy Trinity sort of class system almost, like with your DPS, your supports, and your healers. I think they're just trying to sort of streamline everything a little bit to make it a bit more approachable for like just everyone. And then if people do want to play solo, they can do that. But yeah, this video mainly for me is basically me signing off for a while. I might do signing off of this game, not of the channel. I'm still going to be playing stuff. I know a lot of you won't watch a lot of the stuff I'm playing, but it's okay. If you guys don't vibe with what I'm doing, obviously don't feel compelled to stick around. But it would be a shame if you did leave. But I don't want to annoy people at the same time. So if you're not liking the content I'm putting up, please don't frustrate yourselves or anything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to do with Toth at the moment. I don't really want to keep playing it in its current state, especially now that I know that there could be better things on the horizon. But I'm also very skeptical of those better things. I'm not quite convinced they're going to be able to pull this off in a way that is going to appease enough of the player base for it to save the game. The game's audience is dying already, on the grand scheme of things. It's, on console especially, like I say, you can't really get into games very easily for a lot of the different activities. And this is just going to further split the player base potentially as well, because some people are going to want to stay on the classic servers. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but like some people are going to want to. So yeah, that's splitting the player base further. The other thing is it even going to come to consoles, or is it going to be a PC only deal? If it's a PC only deal, then I don't even know why I'm thinking about it. I mean, they've not really said either way. They do have a live stream coming up, which will hopefully give us some more answers. I don't know whether it's a live stream or a developer update or what actually, but there's something going on that they're going to deliver some information to the player base somehow. And I think it's going to be within the next week. I don't know exactly. I was debating whether to wait for that to come out or whether to just do this video now. But I figured maybe it's best to just do the video now. Because it's just what I'm thinking about at the moment, and I just wanted to keep everyone in the loop. I didn't want to just sort of stop filming TOF and not say why. But yeah, I'm not going to continue with it until I know what's actually going on with the game, until I know, like, what is going to happen to my account and things like that. Because there's no point. There's literally no point in me playing it if I don't get to keep my stuff. So yeah, there won't be any more. I'm not going to spend any more money on this, like, at all. I'm completely, like, if I do play it, it'll be completely free to play, and if, like, I'm not going to put any serious amount of time into it, because, again, there might not be any point. I am approaching the end of my recording time, because for some reason I only recorded 12.5 minutes footage to talk over. I don't know why I did that. I didn't really think this through, I guess. I probably should have recorded more footage so that I could edit it down. But yeah, that's where I'm sitting. I'm sort of like, there's a small part of me that is optimistic. I think that the changes that they've listed and the things that they seem to want to do with the game are all very positive. It's just the manner in which they're going to do it. Because if I lose all of my stuff, then it's kind of over. I'm not going to be playing anymore. Like, it's been far too much of a time commitment already. Right, I'm out of time. So that was it. So thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Farewell.